that everybody's doing great. I know that I am trying my best to hang in there because it is my second week of back to school season. I started school last week, not with the students training. This week we're still training, and it's been quite different this time around. And, you know, we know it because we're all going to be experiencing it. So I want to ask the people who are already logging in for this video, are you back in school yet or not? You can let me know in the chat box if you are back at school yet, because I would love to see. And if you're not, well, let me know when are you going to be back in school. So tonight, I have a very special guest, and before I introduce her, I always forget, I have to introduce myself because there's new people every week in this group, and I am so grateful for that. Every week we keep growing, and I love it, and you guys are sharing your successes with me and what you've been creating from what you have learned through the summer, and I'm just so incredibly proud of everyone that's sharing resources and sharing their pictures of what they're doing in the classroom. My name is Alberta Delgadillo, and I am a Spanish teacher, high school Spanish teacher, and I teach in Savannah, Georgia. And I have created this space for educators to come together and collaborate and to be able to provide a weekly professional learning experience that some of us sometimes don't get to have. So this is a space for us to learn and collaborate, because I really believe that we are definitely stronger together. And I don't just say that but I know, I have seen it. I have seen that the teams and the districts who work together and the departments that work together, like the load gets easier when we are sharing ideas, resources, techniques, strategies. So I'm so grateful that you're here. So I'm reading right now that Heidi is not going back to school until the 24th. And then we have, I can't see the name just yet because you don't have to give Facebook authorization if you don't want to. It's Rebecca, who's not going back until the August 24th. We have Claudia on the 24th. Most people are going back on the 24th. And yes, so Mariela, good to see you here. And Evie and Kate is not going back until September. Hakeem, welcome. So I want to go ahead and turn it over to our guest tonight because I don't want to take away from her time. We have Senyo Blumel tonight, and she is a very special guest. I'm going to let her introduce herself. And I am really excited that she's here because she has a lot of resources to share with you tonight. A lot of you guys have been asking me to bring more videos on technology. And I know that there are a lot of groups that offer that already. That's why I don't try to bring so much on technology. But because I have received many messages, hey, you know, could you make a video or could you collaborate with someone to talk to us about technology? And I said, this is your group. So, you know, you asked for it. So here we have it. So I'm going to turn it over to Senyo Blumel.
Well, hello. I'm so excited. I'm here in this group, and everyone is good. Everyone can see my slides.
Not yet. Now they're going to be able to see it. Yep.
All right. So I am Senyo Blumel. So Senyo is short for Señora. I'm from Barranquilla, Colombia, South America. So I'm a native of Barranquilla. I love life. I'm obsessed with learning and exploring novel ideas, people, and places. I teach Spanish in Missouri. I have a YouTube channel called Senyo Blumel, Que Chévere. I make educational videos to support learning, both online and in the classroom. I create my own YouTube videos. My channel offers me an outlet to express myself, support educators and students, share about my culture and other cultures, and connect with people, which is what I love the most. I'm 100% an extrovert. So this is the banner of my channel. If I have to pick 5 words that would describe my channel, would be Español, cultures, technology, education, stories. So in this presentation, I am going to talk to you specifically about using videos to engage and enrich students' learning, which is what I'm very passionate about. I'm very excited because I just created this logo. If you see here, it is my official logo for my channel and all my social media. pages. It is el sombrero volteado, which is the Colombian hat, very typical of my country. So, and I have the world there because, like I said, I love connecting with people. I would love to connect with you. So if you want to connect with me and learn with me, I have a Facebook page called Learn with Senyo. You can find me on Instagram at Senyo Blumel, Twitter, and I have a teacher's blog that is called Español con la Senyo Blumel, and I have included that information here. I will be sharing the slides with you so you can locate that information. So my YouTube channel, Senyo Blumel, que chévere. So can anyone guess what que chévere means? I want to know if anyone knows what that means. And I'm looking at the comments here. So anyone, any guess? Que chévere.
It's kind of like delayed from here until YouTube, so it's a little bit delayed from the start here. So it'll be like a couple moments before we get some answers.
All right. So that's like my favorite word in Spanish. Yes, how cool is that? I tell my students dope. You know, I teach middle school and they're like lit, dope, and chévere is big in my classroom because I use that a lot. It's very popular in my city. All right, so that's the banner. So my YouTube channel. So I post new videos weekly in the following categories. So if you go to my YouTube channel, I have created playlists to help you find the things that you are most interested in. So one of those is Spanish mini lessons. They're very short video clips just to teach one subject in particular, and I'm going to show you in a minute. I also have technology tutorials that is just what that using technology in the classroom. I will show you some of those. I have cultural videos, Spanish native speakers interviews. Those are 100% in Spanish with native speakers. I like to put subtitles on the bottom in Spanish just to help out students and support more understanding. I also have videos of me teaching in the classroom. I have another playlist called Special Guest Interviews. And these are different people. Like I'm going to show you one that I did a few months ago with Cesar from Rocalingua. He does an amazing thing in his channel with Spanish song videos. So for kids, so I had him. I have Colombian recipes. I love food. Colombian food is my favorite food. So I just videotape myself in the kitchen making my food. And then my students watch those videos and we can talk more about that. I have inspiring stories. I love stories. I love ideas. So I like to show those and inspire people to do better in life. So I can show you what I have there. And
so what you're telling us is that you have a lot of material to save us time.
Exactly. So basically, if you go to my YouTube channel and you're like, I don't care about Spanish mini lessons, but I care about technology tutorials, well, you can check that there. So I wanted to create a channel where everyone can go and find something that they can connect with. And that's what I wanted to do. So just a little bit for everybody. So let me show you my channel and what I do. So if you don't have any other questions about what I've told you so far, I can take you there. So are you guys ready?
Yeah, I think everybody's ready.
All right. So let's go there. So I have, so like I said, this is my channel. I have the playlists here. So this one, let's go with the one that says technology tutorials. So this playlist has, so I did a tutorial back in 2019 on how to use Flipgrid. I started using Flipgrid in 2018. So this tutorial is actually, I mean, it's good information. You can probably get through everything, but some of the things are obsolete because you Flipgrid just changed a lot of stuff and introduced
Yes,
new features.
they had a massive revamp.
So I'm actually in contact with the Flipgrid people. I'm an ambassador and a level 3 guide. So I communicate with them. I'm actually working on bringing one of them to my channel. So I was talking to Anne. She's one of the persons there that goes around, and I'm like, I need to make a new one to introduce that. So she shared some things. So I will be putting that out there to show you the new updates. But this video is there, and it will help you. But it's
not the newest update, but you have the newest update coming along pretty soon.
Exactly. This one I just did. This one is called Create Google Slides that engage students. In this tutorial, you will learn how you can use Google Slides to create content so you can assign to your students that they can interact with. So as you know, we are going to be doing virtual teaching, online learning, more than we are going to be doing in the classroom, the majority of schools at least. And kids need to engage with that. You know, the time to pass out worksheets and watch them do them is gone. And now we have to create this material. And in this tutorial, I am going to show you how you can do that. And some of the things I do that I explain in this tutorial is that I actually assign my students in the beginning of the unit, I assign them a Google Slides so they know exactly what we're going to be learning in that unit. And then I assign them exercises, and then I can monitor and see what each student is doing, how much time they're spending. I can grade that. I can give them feedback, all from Google Classroom and Google Slides. So
absolutely, I think that is so important, Senor Blumel, because sometimes we are always trying to find the next new thing. Or I know that my friend Jared created some awesome videos, and he mentioned about how sometimes we spend a lot of time doing research on finding the newest tool, the newest tech tool. But you know, with Google, you can pretty much, like you said, do everything. Like, give the feedback. You can check what time the person last logged in, how many times they have logged in, and all of that. I mean, if you really want to. So we can, although, you know, we want to bring engaging tools. I'm not against that at all. But it's great to know that on Google, we have all of those capabilities, and we don't have to invest the money, because a lot of times we talk about a lot of tech tools. I know I do this too in my presentations, because they're amazing tech tools, but a lot of times not every teacher is able to invest the money on the monthly subscription. But in Google, if you know what you're doing, like with this beautiful tutorial that you have, you can go a long way without having to invest money.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for expanding on that. So like you say, I'm a strong believer. Like, I'm very passionate about creating content. So I'm not a professional expert on technology, none of that. I mess up a lot. I do a lot of trial and error, but I like to go check out that new online tool and then try it out and then create something unique for my students. And that's what I like to do. I like to also model that for them, that they can be creators.
Absolutely. And to not, and you know, I think you bring an excellent point with that. I do the same thing with my kids too. I told them when I learned not just the tech tool, when I go to a conference and I come back all excited with a new super cool activity, my disclaimer is always, we are going to do this for the first time. And if we do not like it, we don't have to do it again. And we'll decide together. Unless it's great for your learning benefit, I might reconsider it. But most of the time, we don't like it as a class, we don't do it again. But just modeling to not be fearful of the new technology, to not be fearful of trying something new. Like you said, that sends a really strong message to our students.
Yes, definitely. So just in this tutorial, for example, I have created an activity that helps students, that you can insert audio. So for example, in this slide, I have inserted my own audio. So when I assign this, that like in this slide, students has to identify the country. So they have to click on the audio, listen, and choose the correct answer. So this is an activity that I show you how to create from Google Slides, all the images, copyright free, right from Google Slides. And what is cool about it is that it was 100% free. I didn't have to go to Teachers Pay Teachers and pay any money. I just created my own thing with the tools I have, like Berta was saying. So there's just a lot of stuff you can do on your own. And just by watching a few tips, you can create your own stuff, even if it's not perfect at first. The next tutorial I created is called Create, Drag, and Drop and Join with Aeroactivity. So this one is from your existing worksheets. So this one I thought it was very important to share because now that we are going to online teaching, we have a lot of worksheets. We have a lot of stuff that we love that we already purchased, and we don't want to get rid of them, right? But we don't want to start all over. So in this tutorial, I show you how to take that worksheet, bring it into Google Slides, and just make a few changes so the kids can interact with that. So for example, in this one, I'm showing you how to do a join with arrows, or another way could be said is match. But basically, it's all interactive. So I have taken just a plain worksheet and make the images where they can drag it. I have inserted text boxes, and now it's something that the kids can do and play with, and it's not just just a worksheet. Another one, so this one shows you two activities that you can do. You can check that out. And again, this is just a way for you to start. This is simple, but it gives you a start, and you're smarter than me. So you're gonna watch this video and you're like, I have a better idea. I can do this. So this for you to inspire you.
And what I'm thinking, Senor Blume, too, is you remember how I said earlier, and like I said, people say this all the time, but like I say it, and I'm telling you, I mean it now more than ever, how we said, we're stronger together. I mean, imagine if you, with your department, you said, okay, you know what? We have a whole packet and we divide the packet and each teacher works on one, and you can have like a pretty good, together as a team, you can go ahead and develop all your worksheets and make them into something interactive like this very easily if everybody takes a little chunk.
Exactly.
If you are, with a department that's willing to work with you. I know that's not the case for everybody, and that is a topic I want to bring in the future, how to be a team player, because I think that is something so important, and a lot of people don't realize how, just what an impact it can have on our own being able to, create beautiful resources and sharing them. And instead of having the workload all to myself, because I teach Spanish too, and then my colleague also teaches Spanish too, why not work together? What's stopping us from working together? Even though we have different teaching philosophies, you can still, find middle grounds and find items in which you can both use and create templates.
Exactly. And another thing I also like to do is that I don't teach technology. Like, I'm not a technology specialist or teach any computer class to my kids, but I love using technology to enrich learning. So let's say I want my kids to create a drag and drop activity. I'm going to share this tutorial. I'm going to say, watch my tutorial and create a drag and drop activity for me, a video you need that with one activity that you want to create on the subject we're learning. So then my kids are trying things out. They're learning, they're manipulating what they have, and they're creating something new, and they're using the target language, the content they're learning. So that's another way you can do that I like to do, and it's just another way you could do. All right, so that's
we have some comments. Eileen is saying that it looks super interactive, and like you mentioned, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you have a task on paper or a worksheet, you can turn it into something like this that is very interactive. And actually, once you get the hang of it the first time, it's easier to replicate later.
Yes.
Okay. And on the topic of teams, Heidi is just suggesting include why teams are important. Some believe that they won't work, but they help a program be stronger. Absolutely. I cannot emphasize enough on that. Heidi, that is on my book, and I'm going to be bringing it. So.
Yes. So, all right. So I will be uploading, just so you know, 2 more tutorials on Edpuzzle and the new version of Flipgrid and other tutorials, because I'm very curious. So I'm always sharing new things. Like one of the interviews I just did was a guy who created something called Video Puppet, and his company is in, I think it's in England, one country close to England. So I had that interview. I still haven't had time to edit the video and put it out there, but I'm very excited to show you how you can add audio with this awesome app that he created. And that is another one that will be coming up. So just follow up on my channel if you would like to.
I mean, right now, all the technology we can get is so useful, because, you know, even though sometimes we might think as teachers, why am I going to share a video of me explaining technology? And I think it's so useful to understand that, you know, like there are already videos created on this topic, but the way that Senor Blume is going to explain it is going to be different than other people. And, you know, she might bring different ideas into it. So I say this to encourage those teachers who are listening right now. If you guys have tech tools that, you know, you are pretty good at, create your own videos and share them, because we all can learn from each other. And also, by that token, I also want to say that I'm sure Senor Blume, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if they have a topic that they would like to see a video on, they can make a request, right?
Definitely. I actually was going to say that I had a teacher in one of the other groups. You might see some of my videos posted in other language educators groups, because I post in a lot of groups that are okay with me sharing my videos. But one of the requests I got from one of those teachers was a teacher that she actually teaches music, and school just their Spanish teacher quit, so they asked her to teach Spanish, because they had this 6th graders that need to have a semester class with Spanish, and she's like, I'm not certified in Spanish. I took some Spanish in in college, but she just was so nervous, and she's like, I won't be able to speak. So can anyone just show me some of the phrases and things you use in the classroom? Because one teacher suggested, hey, if you memorize these phrases in Spanish, you know, you can be more confident in your Spanish, and it will impress your principal. So I made a tutorial just for that, and that one goes on. So if you go to Spanish, the playlist called Spanish Mini Lessons is one called 20 Must-Know Phrases for New Spanish Teachers. So this one is just that. It's just 20 phrases that they can use. So then I just go through each one of them. You know, just 20 simple phrases that I use. I add the audio twice so they can see it. I put the English on the bottom. And what is cool about this is that they can also do the action. So like, for example, let's say you're a native Spanish speaker, you're good. You're like, you don't need to teach me what phrases to use. I know Spanish. Awesome. But the kids we're teaching, they don't know Spanish, right? They're learning. So I'm going to do this for my class, with my students. I'm going to assign that the first week of school. And then I'm going to say, like, do a Flipgrid video showing me 5 of the phrases in the video that you like acting it out. So, like, for example, if they pick, let's say they pick, what's the next one? Entienden. What option would you say? So, like what gesture? So like if I say entienden, they will record themselves saying entienden, and they can give me thumbs up, like if they want that. Or if they have, you know, like, I don't know, there's another one like una vez más, or silencio por favor. So if they can do silencio por favor, that's another action. So this is something that not only new Spanish teachers can use, but they can also assign to their students, so they can practice Spanish and get familiar with that recycled vocabulary that they're going to be hearing throughout the year. Now, I had other teachers that teach like Dutch and Italian. They watch this video and they're like, oh, that's great. I can make that for Italian. I can make that for German. So that's just an idea that you can do for any of your languages that you teach. So that's that. So yeah, that was a long answer to that question. So if you do have a request, you're always welcome to ask me. And I love making videos. I'm very passionate about making videos, so this is my hobby. It's weird. I'm really weird, but this is how I relax.
No. And you know, it's great to have all of these resources. I'm trying to share your page's address on the chat box right now.
Okay, thank you. So then, well, now that we are on that playlist, that one is called Mini Spanish Lessons. The next mini Spanish lesson, and these are short 2 minutes because you know you just want to watch something. It's very the same, very format. I always have an intro, like songs. I like background sounds, all these sounds that I've already have permission to use, and the rest of the content is my own, so you don't have to worry about copyright or that you know that you will get in trouble using this. So this one is just another one I use. I actually use my son. He's I have 3 boys, so this is my oldest, and he just did this conversation with me, how to introduce yourself in Spanish. Again, that's something that I'm going to be sharing with my students the first week of class, and we're going to be following up on this on a video, and they're going to have to do it either with a partner or somebody at home that maybe wants to be the other person, and they have to show me this, but I'm gonna be quizzing them on how to introduce themselves. So if you hear,
tengo 13 años, ¿y tú?
I do the voice of Camila, and then my son does the voice of Mateo.
Mi cumpleaños es el 3 de octubre.
So,
¿y el tuyo?
El mío es el 6 de enero.
So what is cool about this is that they have the audio. I like to put the a visual on the back, and the first part of the video they have to do it without the translation. So I just say, so like the first part I said, use the images to help you figure out the context. So they will be watching the images, listening, but they don't know what I'm saying. But because I have given them this support, the images,
visuals are so important. So yes.
Exactly. And then the next part of the video will go, I think is here. So in here it says now, let's see, it's right here. So it says that one now, read the translation. So now we do the same video, but now I'm giving them the translation. So remember, when we're teaching, we're always teaching for acquisition. We don't want to be translating things. We just want to introduce the kids by listen to, but providing images support. That's another thing. I am big on comprehensible input. So translation to me comes later. Is first let's just try to feel
set it up with the right support for sure.
Exactly. Any questions about everything you've seen so far before I show you the other playlist? And
yes, let's look through some comments and let's give them a chance to ask any questions if they have any. But let's look through some comments. So we have D is saying que generosa. Eileen is saying that this is a good video for Spanish 1 for class commands. The earlier one you were talking about that you created with the 20 phrases. Heidi said, long answer by resources, maravilloso. Okay. I also shared the link to Señora Blumel's Facebook page that you can go follow her as well, so you don't miss any videos that she's going to be releasing. And then Reina is saying she loves your weirdness.
So yes, I'm crazy. I'm very crazy teacher. So if you see my videos, Yeah, so.
I actually have some friends from Colombia here in the city where I live in Savannah, and you remind me so much of one of them. Especially when I saw your picture with the dress, I have to show you her picture later so you can see.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm from Barranquilla, Colombia. So if you know Shakira, if you know Sofia Vergara, especially Sofia Vergara, they're from the city I grew up in. She's a mess, right? So that's how we are. We're crazy, loud, and yeah. So just that's how we are.
Yeah, my friend is crazy and loud too. so
All
so
right.
we have a comment from Lily. She's saying, "Tu trabajo es espectacular, señor Blum."
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay.
I appreciate
I don't
that.
think all are done. I don't think we have any questions, so we can continue on to
All right.
the next segment.
All right. So then another playlist I have is teaching in the classroom. This is where you can see me being really weird. So I teach with this one is called Calendar Talk Spanish Class Day 3. So something that I do is look at me teaching these little kids this time. So this is I think these are 7th graders. So just so you know, the videos that you see of me teaching in the classroom, if you see any kids' faces, is because I have been granted consent from the parents. So before I put any videos of any student out there, I have a YouTube form that I have printed, and I make the parent sign it explaining I'm going to be sharing this in my YouTube channel to show other educators, blah, blah, blah. Are you okay? Yes, give me consent.
Yep.
So everything is good, right?
I do the same thing as well.
So if they don't give me consent, then I blur their faces. YouTube has that feature where it'll let you blur the faces, so that's super important. I also always make sure I make a copy of that consent form in my files because always like, what if, whatever. So I always have that. So just so you keep that in mind. But one thing I do in my classroom is that I make gestures. So we have something that I teach with novels. So if you look at it, this is my classroom in the back. I have all these novels, and we read novels from day one. We start, okay, in this quarter, we're going to read a novel.
So glad you mentioned that, because a lot of people, I was talking to some people earlier, and they were asking about that. They were like, do you teach novels to Spanish 1? Personally, I haven't taught Spanish 1 in 3 years, but if I were teaching it, I totally would. You can get, my favorite novel for Spanish 1 is Capibara con Botas.
Yes.
It's such an easy novel to begin the first week of school if you want to. It is so possible. So I'm so glad to hear this message, Señor Blume, that you can teach a novel as early as in the first weeks of school.
Oh my gosh, yes, this is the funnest. So I'm gonna show you the other video of my kids acting now, Capibara con Botas. But in this video, I want to show you how, one of the things I teach the kids is that first, the way we acquire a language, if you notice me pointing to that video, is that first we listen. They gotta listen a lot. And they have to be comfortable with listen, right? Like one of my classroom rules is listen with the intent to understand and support the flow of conversation. So they have to be used to listening, and then they're going to be able to read. This is all research, right? How we acquire language. And then they're going to be able to write, and then speaking comes last. So then I like to also teach them science the first week of school, like, okay, and I like to create the signs together. So I'm like, okay, class, I'm gonna teach you like how would you say good job? Like I say buen trabajo. You're gonna hear me say that a lot. So what sign can we use for buen trabajo? So when you hear me say that, I'll say it, but I'll give you the sign to help you. So we all take a few minutes to do like different signs, and then I have an artist, somebody that goes, and I have an anchor chart in my classroom. And this is the sign they pick, thumbs up. So then I say, okay, let's practice that. Buen trabajo. And then they have to like do this. So in this video, I show them, I think it's in this one, maybe, yes. So if you go farther, we are going to, this is one student who is actually, he's the artist. So he's drawing the one for piensa, which is think, right? So think, he made a head and the finger saying, pointing to the brain. So think. So every time, I'm using that. I say, clase piensa, piensa. And then if I hear people lost, I'm like, show me the sign for piensa. And then they're like, oh. So signs are so important. And this anchor chart at the beginning to build that, that support for the language is so huge. So I have this anchor chart for each one of my classes in my classroom, and it's just always super fun. Okay, so the next video you will find here is me so teaching with novels again. One of the novels, like Berta said, that I love is
Capybara. It's the best. If you haven't tried, if you're a Spanish teacher and you haven't used Capybara with Spanish 1, you teach middle school, right?
Yes.
I teach high school, and it is just as magical in high school as it is with middle school. But I would imagine that for middle school, it will be even more magical.
Yes. Oh my gosh, these kids just want to act out the stories every day, and we're like, okay, we cannot do that every day because it does take a lot of time. But if I have to tell you what they love the most in all the Spanish is acting this out. So I like to make it fun. So as you saw me holding that boot, and then I'm telling them like what to do. I give them scripts. I'm walking them through, and then I'm showing you here how they're gonna act it out. So this, she's doing mono, so she's the monkey. And so if you look at the video, they are all saying it in Spanish. They're like, one person is narrating the script and the other one is listening and doing the action. So this student is a tree, so he's just standing there. Another one jump in the water. So you see that blue paper there on my rack, that's the water. So the kids love doing this stuff. Look, she's choking him because there's a snake that likes the anaconda and she chokes. So they're buddies and they're like had so much fun doing that.
So we have a couple questions.
Yes.
So we have a couple questions, and we can answer them together, or if I'm sure you will have some ideas as well. D is asking, do you have any ideas on how to do novels remotely?
Yes, definitely. So I am doing novels. So my school is actually only we're doing hybrid. So we're doing 2 days in the classroom and the other 3 days online. We will be doing novels. So I have created a digital classroom, and my digital page has all the novels we are gonna be using in the, let me see if I can show you that so you can kind of get an idea of that. So interactive. So I have all the novels posted because I noticed that's another question somebody asked about what novels you're teaching. Is that correct?
Yes, somebody wanted to know novels specifically for level 1. Like I said, the one that I can recommend, start with the Capybara one, and then you have the Brandon Brown series. Some of those are pretty good. For Brandon Brown, Quiero un perro. And they have that one in French and in German, I believe.
Yes. So let's see. I don't know if I have updated this. So I do have a few of this. So for we are doing, so my kids, I teach Spanish A and B. So I teach like Spanish 1 in high school, but I teach it in 2 years, 7th grade and 8th grade. So we divide the content in 2 years. So they already did, my 7th graders already did Capybara con Botas. So we are going to be doing La Clase de Confesiones. So I have created a link with the information from the chapter. So the information from the chapter is there. I'm not going to be really sharing that because that's copyright material. I only have, permission to just use it in my class. But I have created those resources for them online where they basically go, they read they have to read the novel. I have also recording myself reading the novel on Flipgrid. So they have to listen to the novel. And then we're going to be acting out the scenes of each novel. So I'm going to be assigning each kid a role on how to do the acting from home. So
Yeah.
that is probably another.
Well, I mean, we also have to look at the pluses too. I mean, I know it's hard to focus on the plus side of this situation, but the way I can envision novels, because I am going to be teaching with novels in this year too. Luckily for me, my principal said, he was going to purchase the digital novels. I like to use the ones from Fluency Matters. I love how they embed culture into their novels, so you don't have to touch culture if you have the time. Culture is embedded everywhere, as it should be in our classes. But what I love about it, the way I see it, is I can read the novel during my class meeting. I'm going to be meeting with my students via Zoom. Thank God my district is allowing Zoom. So I'm meeting with my kids via Zoom. And when I get to teach that novel, I can read that novel to them. We can do popcorn reading with the kids who are showing up. We can do, gestures while I'm reading. And we can do breakout rooms while we're reading. And I know that Teams has breakout rooms. And I know that Google Meets is working on breakout rooms. And if you don't know how to set up team breakout rooms, my friend Eileen, who I think might still be watching, she has an amazing Facebook group, and she has like about 5 tutorials on how to use Teams if that's what your school is doing. So go check out her group. But definitely there are many ways in which you can do check for comprehension. What I advise that we don't do with novels is don't give them work that they can complete on their own during your class meetings virtually. So we're talking about teaching novels virtually. The work that we're going to be doing in the classroom has to be very dynamic, the way we deliver it, with the checks for understanding and a lot of interaction with the students. And then, we can assign a check for understanding later that can be done completely independent. Like, for example, if you create an activity, kind of like the one Senor Blume showed you how to do on the Google document, then the students can do that on their own. But in class, I see it as like me reading to them, the students doing popcorn reading, maybe breaking them out in groups and having them read to each other like they will in a class in the breakout room. And you can still have them do gestures if you can see all of them on the screen, depending on the number of students. It can be done. It requires some adjustments, but it's definitely doable. So we have, what novels do you teach on level 1? So we talked about Brandon Brown and Capybara con Botas. And you have, what novels do you recommend, Señor Blumel? You had La Clase de Confesiones?
Yeah, so
de AC Quintero?
Yeah, so one of the questions here says, what are the levels? Like, how do you know what levels to teach? So if you go to, I can share that resource. I think it's from TPRS. Basically, they have all the levels, they'll tell you what level it is. If it's really beginning, first level, how many word count, when you should introduce that novel. So that's what I do to guide me and know, like, what level should this novel be appropriate. So I can share that slide with you so you can see it. But I will be doing, so I do Capybara con Botas. That one is super easy. I'm doing La Clase de Confesiones, has 2 from Quintero, AC Quintero. It has La Clase de Confesiones, and then the sequence is La Bella Mentira. Both of my kids in 7th grade last year, they read that. They understood. It was very easy read, and they enjoyed it. So it's, I do that, and I'm introducing this year, I'm doing La Familia de Federico.
My friend Angela Williams does that one, and her kids absolutely love that one.
Yes. So La Familia de Federico Rico would be great, because we do have a unit on La Familia. So hey, that talks about whatever.
I was reading that one with my son too, and it's pretty comical. So everybody can use humor these days. So
exactly. So again, maybe that's another video I can provide, how I actually teach with novels, how do I split it up in a quarter, how I do. So that just gives me something to work on later.
Gloria is asking, where can we find a list of novels online? I know that there is a list of novels online. I just need time to find it. If you're listening and you know about that list of novels, could you please share that with us? Because I know there's a list of novels, and I know that, if you go to Fluency Matters, they have their list of novels in there. And for that question about how do you know which one to use, if you go to Fluency Matters, it will tell you Spanish 1, Spanish 2, the word count. Yeah. So Capibara con Botas, I think, is a 50-word unique word count, right? I think.
Yeah, I think it might be 100.
Or 84. It's very low.
Yeah, it's low. It's low. Yeah.
So yes. So in Fluency Matters, and I'm assuming in TPRS, they will also do the same. They tell you which level, they tell you the word count, and that's how you decide how to use it. It doesn't take you long to read through the novels. So I always advise, get a couple that have low word count and read them on your own time, and figure out which one is going to fit your students the most. And one thing that I do, I have a lot of novels, and thankfully, like in paper in my classroom, that are not going to be useful to me at all because I'm virtual this year, but I have a lot of them throughout the years. And the reason why I have accumulated so many of them throughout the years is because I don't teach the same novel each semester, not even to the same level. Why? Because my kids are different. My class culture is different with each class. And we talked about relationships and getting to know our classes really well before we decide which units and which materials we're going to be bringing to them. So if I have a class that's filled with athletes, definitely I love to use Felipe Alou. And usually I have a class filled with athletes, at least one every year. And that novel really connects with those students. If I have a class of like a lot of girls who are very girly or whatever, like I can find some novels for them as well. And I mean, there's so many ways you can teach novel. You can do whole class novel. You can do the free voluntary reading, where each student picks a book they want to read. Obviously, we're a little bit limited with that with virtual learning, but I know that I think it was Teachers Discovery, they released some kind of library that, you can check out. I don't have it. I'm not going to purchase it, but because I am going to get the Fluency Matters online novels. They're having online novels, and I'm going to be getting those. But I'm going to be teaching the novel during class, and then I'm going to assign them the check for understanding at home. So I know that there's also independent authors. Senor Blume, do you use any novels from independent authors? I know AC is an independent author, but there are a lot of other independent authors who have their own list of novels. But my advice for every novel, doesn't matter if it's from a big company or from an independent author, always read the novel before you do it with your students. Because
yes, I'm gonna show real quick, so 1 second.
I'm trying to remember. I know that I saw a list of the novels with like all the books.
So can you see all the novels I have? So I have a lot of novels that I've purchased, and this was one of my donors project. I have a classroom library for my kids. So some of the novels, this one is from Lisa Ray Turner and Blaine Ray. Blaine Ray is like the king, the pioneer of the TPR.
Yes.
So he has a lot of those. But, I have a lot of these novels. And as you can see, these novels are very small. And if you look at it, so like this one is the one we're reading. It will tell you here more about the novel and the word count and a description of it. And on the back, it tells you more about lower levels, where you can start, like it gives you suggestions, and then how you can move up the students to the next level. So these novels will also give you that information. Feliz Cumpleaños is another good one. This one, La Familia de Federico, is the one that we mentioned. What is cool about this one, if you can see, it has a lot of pictures, you see. So it's very graphic, and then the kids can just like, they like comic strips type reading. This is like easy reading for them. So The author, which is Craig Klein, who is from Colombia, he's done an excellent job about.
They are all from Colombia. Mexican teachers need to start writing too. They're all from Colombia.
Yeah. So anyway,
I love that. I love that. I'm just teasing. Most of my teacher friends are from Colombia. So.
Yeah. So I'm actually one day I will publish a novel, but for now we have a lot of novels, and like you said, Fluency Matters, TPRS. We will give you that guide.
I want to say something real quick, and I just want to. I know you mentioned Donors Choose. My first novels, when 4 years ago, when I first bought my first set of novels, like full class set, were funded through Donors Choose. And Senor Blume, don't you agree with me that you only need to invest maybe an hour, 2 tops, on building that project on Donors Choose, and it gets funded like that? From your friends, or even people who don't even know you and have no clue who you are will give money to you. And
we have two. One of them was 1,100. That was funded. It was big, right? Because that was like, I have nothing, I have zero, I need all these novels, and I want to build a library. I'm like, it doesn't hurt to ask, right? I got it. And that is why, like, I got all these books. So in my classroom, I have this portable shelf with all the novels. So, you know, the kids can come in and they can read, pick a novel, or in the class, I have sets where each kid can get their own novel and read. So that is just wonderful, you know, and obviously right now going online.
Absolutely. I mean, and like I said, Teachers Discovery right now has an online library of novels that you can check into. And if you need help funding those projects, I know it can be overwhelming thinking about all the accounts that we might want to buy. And that's what we're trying to show you, tech tools that you don't have to, that, you know, yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time, but you don't have to invest all the money. So, and I also want to say that we have a Donors Choose ambassador in this group, in your group Transformation, and that's Dana Skillman, who was with us last week talking about teacher mental health. You can reach out to her. You can click on her name, because I know that you can click on her name, send her a direct message or write her a message. And she will help you with any questions you have about setting up a Donors Choose project. Don't hesitate to ask. Create that project and make it happen. And when you get it funded, please share your winning story with us.
Right. All right. So let me just see what other playlist. I know we are getting close to our end time, but just want to show you other ones. So this one is just Colombian recipes. Actually, let me go back here. So I got one that is cultural videos. So if you go to this one is kind of cool because it's just me in the country. So like I'm showing them, I'm in the streets of Barranquilla. And I'm showing them like the real people and what they do. I'm speaking the language. I'm showing them how we eat mangoes there and how people sell them and make a living of it. So this is like, to me, it's like huge, right? To show the kids culture.
I have like, my mangoes right here.
What?
My mangoes right here.
Oh, yeah. So like this one, you know, they can see me dancing there because that's Barranquilla. You see people there in the streets just singing and making a living. So I'm showing them that. I'm showing them, you know, how the streets look. So this is just cultural videos that I show so they can see, because a lot of my kids are curious, like, how is that in Colombia where you live? I also like to do events. So this one is carnivals, which is a big, you know, carnivals, as you know, Colombia has the second biggest in the world after Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So carnivals are huge, and it's a huge topic in language to show about the cultures and traditions and all that. So that's something that I like to show. I like to show them, this is me. Again, during the event, I went downtown there and I showed them. I was able to interview some of the people. So I will be adding more of those.
That is a great video for, you know, when we talk about carnivals in the class. So
Oh, okay, yeah. So, and again, you can find all these videos in so many YouTube channels, right? So, again, you can find other videos. This is just my experience, showing my experience. Interviews, special interviews. I like to bring professionals. So I have Brad Cesar, which is the creator of Roca Lingua. And why do I do this? This is more like professional development. This is more for educators like you, so people that don't know about this work that these people have put together. And like me, I'm putting together, this work to support educators. There's other educators out there, and I want to introduce that. I like to collaborate. So it's like, it's not just about me, right? There's people that have done bigger things, and I want to show that. I also have Alison Winkle. She's the author of Mis Clases Locas. So I was able to interview her and just, show her how she does. And she's very good and successful what she does. So she's there. I also interviewed Tina Hargadon, which is she's the founder of the World Language Proficiency Project. So I was able to stay with Tina, and she was able to just share with me what she's doing. And if she has her groups, and she has great resources too. So that's where it is when I mean entrevistas, special guests.
And I think sometimes it's so useful to hear about other teachers' journeys, and well, their journeys, or how they do things, and then also, like you said, the resources that they may have that we do not know about.
Exactly. So that is something. So if you are somebody that does something like that, and would like to be in my channel, let me know. Email me, send me that link. I would love to interview that person and share that, so other people can connect with that person and their work. And then the other playlist I have is called Inspiring Stories. And this is like one of my favorite ones. It has nothing to do with Spanish, but it's just like inspiring stories. Like this one is actually very personal, and it's actually about my son who went through vision therapy, and he's had like 7 surgeries in his eyes because he has strabismus. So this is an amazing story. Like he actually found this doctor who, this place where he was able to fix his eyes. And this was huge for me because like this story, great stories, like I want to share these stories with the world, because I had this son, he had 7 eye surgeries. We didn't know about vision therapy. So he had 7 surgeries. After surgery number 7, when he was 15, he's like, Mom, I need to do something. So he got online, he found this alternative way, which is no cuts, no surgeries, and it's called vision therapy. He did it for 6 months. Amazing. So this right here is his journey, and I wanted to share that in my channel. So actually, after I shared that video, I actually had one colleague that said, hey, that's awesome. I'm actually had surgeries and I didn't know that existed, and it's just something good to share. So that's another thing that I like to do, show those. So yeah, so that's basically it for the
I think those stories are important too. I mean, you just never know how you can impact somebody through stories, which is why we use stories to teach in the classroom as well. But just on our day-to-day, I mean, stories can be such a source of inspiration, because if somebody went through it and somebody found a solution, that it's uplifting for other people that might be going through the same thing.
Definitely. So that's just a little bit of samples of what I do. Again, I will be posting videos weekly. Basically what I do, what I'm learning, I just shared. So I have here in this slides, I told you that I don't know if I mentioned that, I can't remember now. If I mentioned that I'm part of Flipgrid, I think I did. So in here, I'm gonna share with you that I actually have in the Discovery tab on Flipgrid, I'm actually, I have done 21 topics that I have shared with other educators. So if you are on Flipgrid, I know Berta said that she did a training or
yeah, we had Heidi Truth 2 weeks ago who talked to us about Flipgrid. But I think this is amazing. You have created activities that go along with your videos that are free, available to teachers in the Disco library, right? Or in the Discovery.
Yes, Discovery. Yeah. So if you go there, you can find me as Catherine Blumel. I have 21 topics. So basically, I've shared this. It already has everything for you. So it's just ready for you to assign to your kids. So you can click on it and see what the kid has to do. Some of them is professional development, but other ones, like this one, for example, they introduce yourself, was one that you can assign to your kid, so it gives you the prompt. This one, Spanish basic conversation. So it says, watch this video to learn how to ask and answer basic Spanish question, blah, blah, blah. So you can copy that to you and assign it if you like to use it. And again, all the videos here are I created. So when I create a video, I do an activity and then I share it. So if anyone wants to use it, you're welcome to. I am also a great pal. So you can connect with me through Flipgrid. I collaborate with other educators from around the country and the world. So I actually create topics and I do co-pilot with other teachers and then other students. Like, for example, if I want to do like introduce yourself or get to know somebody, then I get in contact with an educator and then we arrange, hey, I'm working on this topic, this unit. Would you like to your students to interact with my students? I find out what age group they are, what they're learning, and then how we're gonna do that. So usually I assign a specific student to one of my kids from the other teacher, and then they have to like connect, like reply, watch their video, and then say, hey, I like this, whatever it is in Spanish that we're learning, and it's all in the target language. So that's awesome because they love getting to know new people.
Absolutely. They're going to try even harder for your class once they know they have real interactions with other students.
Yes. And like, one of the teachers I interacted with was from Massachusetts. So it was crazy because I think they like the Patriots or something. So it was like they had like, New England, whatever, like the football team. And so it was like they had so much fun just learning about what their culture and how they, the athletes and the football team. So it was a conversation in the classroom and it was so fun for them. So that's just something else you can do.
And that is something that Heidi mentioned. You just have no idea what they're going to find out about each other. And it might be, she said, it might be sunny in your side of the country, but it's snowing on theirs. And that's going to be a topic of conversation.
Exactly. And again, you can monitor all that. So all the privacy, how much information you want to share, all that is between you. You arrange that with the educator. So you follow all that along with your school policies and guidelines. So it can be all safe to protect, everything, doing it right. So the last thing I have is just, I'm inviting you to subscribe to my channel. That if you like what I do and if you want to support me, I don't ask for money or nothing. All I ask is that you like my videos, subscribe, and by subscribing, I will be more encouraging to make more videos because I know other teachers are actually using it. So that's encouraging for me. So
it is very encouraging when people subscribe or when people join you or when people say, hey, thank you so much for sharing this resource or this video. It really helped me. It's honestly, I mean, because I love sharing, and I don't know about you, Senor Blume, but like it does take extra time that we don't mind doing because we love this so much and it's our passion to share. But sometimes you wonder, is it really going to help somebody? But when you guys let us know, oh, this is so helpful, this is so great.
Exactly. And again, I'm not getting paid to do this. Like Berta said, I spent a lot of time making making this video just because I love it. And I think people can see that in the work I do. I'm just very passionate. Like I said, it's kind of my hobby. So I want to know if it's actually helping. And that's, so if you see, again, any video, comment, give me feedback. I love constructive criticism. And again, disclaimer, not perfect. I made mistakes. So please, help me get better, and together we can do great things. And that is basically it. And again, credits the Flipgrid stuff. I got permission from Flipgrid, and the other information I got from my YouTube channel. And that's what I have for you guys. So thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Senor Blumen. I just kind of want to go over some comments real quick. First of all, I don't know if Gloria is still with us, but Gloria was the one who asked this question, and Rebecca found the link with the novels that it's by level. So you can go check out Rebecca's link on the chat box and see all the novels by level. And then Claudia is, not Claudia, Laura del Moral is saying, how do I find such inspiring teachers? You know what, Laura, I am surrounded by inspiring teachers all the time. And we are all, inspiring teachers. We all have our points and our strengths, and we all have the ability to inspire each other. I'm just lucky, and fortunate and blessed that when I invite people to come, like Senor Blume, out of the kindness of their heart, they say yes. So thank you so much, Senor Blume, for being with us tonight. And
anytime, I actually just let you know anytime. Again, I know I gave you a lot of information overload. I shared so much from my channel, but if you would like, in the future, whatever, just me focusing on a specific topic, definitely I will be open to talk about it, so we can arrange that. So I'll be happy to help you out.
And Heidi's saying you have a new subscriber in her.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I always am help. Gracias. And then, Reina is asking for your name on Flipgrid, Senor Blume. You say.
Oh, yeah. So on Flipgrid, I have to provide my full name. So Catherine Blumel. So Catherine spelled Katherine. And then my last name, Blumel. That's how you would find me on Flipgrid. And my picture is me with the cumbia, with the Colombian cumbia dress. So easy to find, but you will find me there.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Senor Blume. And before we take off, I am going to close with, since we talked about teamwork, I came across a quote in Spanish last week that I just thought was very powerful. And it said, no trabajes solo, trabaja en equipo y el beneficio será para todos, which means, don't work by yourself, work as a team, and everybody will reap the benefits. So that's just a powerful note on teamwork as we continue to work through this new adventure in teaching. Don't let anything steal your passion. Take care of yourself, love on yourself, give yourself the time you need off the screen. And continue to join us to learn. And, you may pick up 1, 2, or 3 ideas. And like Senor Bloom will say, she showed us a lot of stuff tonight. Find what works for you and use that. Anything that will help you and make your job easier. So thank you so much, guys. We have, thank you for the information. Muchas gracias. Tienes recursos increíbles, Senor Blume. And then we have, love that quote. Thank you both for this fantastic presentation. Reina is saying that Bryce Hedstrom also has a list of novels. And then check out TPRS and they'll get the list of novels. I will try to see if I can find some direct links and post them on this Facebook chat later on. So thank you so much. I love spending Wednesday nights with you guys. And I will see you next Wednesday. Next Wednesday for my CI newbies, I have something special for you. Next Wednesday is going to be different. We're going to have a panel of teachers who are CI teachers, but they're in their first 3 years of their journey. Some of them are in year 1, and they're going to talk to you about everything that has to do with how they got started, what fears they had to get over, what resources, what was the first thing they tried, how they have grown over time. So I'm going to post a I'm going to create a post later so that you can drop your questions for them so that we can be ready next week. So if you're brand new to CI, this is for all languages, not just for Spanish. You can ask these questions, all the questions. You don't have to say your name, and I'll go ahead and make sure those questions get asked on the next week's Transformation Wednesday. You guys take care. Much love. See you next week. Bye.
Ciao.
I have a shoe problem, y'all. So I organized all my shoes. I only have this, and I think I'm gonna put my platform shoes in there because I think that's the only thing that will fit there.